Okay, this is Christopher Moonlight with Moonlight Art Magazine, and as you can see, I'm here with two artists from Birds of Play and Castle Corsetry, which is Lauren's company, and this is Amanda. And how long have you guys been coming to the San Diego Comic Con?
I've only been the last 3 years. This is my third Comic Con. This is my fifth or sixth? I'm not really sure.
How long have you guys been reading comic books for?
Probably since maybe my freshman year of high school.
And
I've only actually been reading comic books the last year or so. I've always been a movie buff, more so than a comic book nerd, but I'm getting there.
so why did comic books interest you?
Mostly Comic Con, actually. Just being around all the comic characters and wanting to know who's doing which costumes and recognizing all the dress up.
And so now that you've been reading comic books, what kind of comic books? Obviously you're into the X-Men.
Yes.
So what is it that you like about the X-Men particularly?
Mostly just mutant superpowers and like what it would be like to be born with some extra sense or gift or something, and that's something really cool. Rather than being bitten by a radioactive spider, like you're born with it and it's part of who you are rather than something you've acquired.
Is it like the misfit quality, or you just like...
Everybody always likes an underdog, so I mean there is part of the misfit attraction.
And what about you? You're obviously reading X-Men.
X-Men is my favorite Marvel title, and I actually like Marvel a lot more than DC these days. But yeah, I think it is kind of they are definitely the underdogs. They're the underdogs of the entire Marvel universe. That's one thing that I like a lot, is that they're superheroes, but it seems like the community as the whole doesn't actually really like the X-Men all that much, and that's just something I find really close. Right now we're reading Avengers vs. X-Men together, and so we're getting along with that story and all the fights and things like that.
So is that, what would you guys say is like the comic book that if you wanted to get your friends into comic books, you say, this is the one you've got to start with because I love this one?
Amanda's going to have to answer this question. I like to hand people the Dark Phoenix saga.
So the old Chris Claremont years? Okay, cool. And how do you think, now one of the things that I'm asking people about is the combination of Hollywood and the comic book industry at the moment. You two are obviously very glamorous. So there's X-Men First Class just came out, and then they did handle the Dark Phoenix in X-Men 3.
If you want to call it that.
Okay. So.
I was not very happy with how they did that, but I guess I was happy to see some version of it, but it could have been so much better. So much better.
Do you think Hollywood being here at the Comic Con overall is a good thing, a bad thing? Do you have mixed, I mean, how do you feel?
Mixed feelings. So if the movie's really awesome, like Avengers, then yeah, let's go all out. But I mean, a Twilight fan just got hit by a car, so there are some things that I just see it and it's like, why is this here? So, but you know, Avengers makes sense because it's based on a comic book, but Twilight's not based on a comic book, it's based on an actual book. So I don't know, maybe they should have their own convention or a book convention, like books to movies. I don't know.
Or do you ever feel like they do something, you're like, why can't Hollywood just leave that alone? It was good and now...
Remakes are my biggest complaint. Like if something was good 20 years ago, they were feeling a really big inclination at this present moment in Hollywood to remake everything. And it's usually disappointing because the original is what everybody loves and remembers from their childhood.
And what about, I mean, do you ever like have a comic that you love and then see them do some version of it in Hollywood and then go, everybody would think that was so cool if Hollywood didn't?
Honestly, I think they really screwed over Emma Frost in First Class. She's a character who I generally like, and just her portrayal was god-awful. I did not like that at all. That made me really angry. I didn't like her costumes at all. Like, none of them were particularly memorable or cute.
Okay, so speaking of costumes, again, you guys are in these fantastic costumes, which you, Lauren, actually designed.
I did.
And you have Castle Corsetry?
Castle Corsetry is my company, and I do cosplay commissions, costuming, and corsets. I specialize in corset making, so.
And you guys are on Facebook.
Facebook, I'm on Etsy, we're all on Twitter, everything.
And you guys actually show up to other events aside from Comic-Con. You're at the comic book stores?
Every con, yeah. We go to Golden Apple parties in Los Angeles a lot.
Okay, cool.
So, we're at other conventions like Kamikaze, WonderCon, all those we can get into.
All right. Well, is there anything else you guys like to add?
Check out our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/birdsofplay. That's play like cosplay. So yeah, check us out. And facebook.com/castlecorsetry or castlecorsetry.com.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks a lot, you guys.
Sure, nice seeing you.
Okay. Here at Comic-Con, I bet you wish you were too.